me tell you something no one wants to say out loud anymore. True genius does not leak. True mastery does not dissipate energy in distraction. True masculine focus doesn't bow to carnal craving. And Nikola Tesla, the man whose very thoughts electrified the modern world, knew this with burning clarity. They told you Tesla was celibate because he was socially awkward. They told you he abstained from women because he was too eccentric. They lied again. What they won't admit, because it threatens the very fabric of modern weakness, is that Tesla's semen retention was not repression. It was redirection, transmutation, alchemical fire. A man who chooses to abstain is a man who chooses to rule. Now, open your mind and lean in, because this isn't about Tesla. It's about you. The man you could be, if only you stopped giving away your power. Tesla understood what the ancients always knew, that the seed, your very life force, is the battery of your mind, body, and spirit. Every time you spill it carelessly for momentary pleasure, you drain volts from your soul. You unplug from your purpose. Tesla, instead, plugged in. He transmuted his urge into an unstoppable current, into vision, into invention. He wasn't sexless, he was sacred. His genius wasn't accidental. It was engineered by discipline. That discipline is called brahmacharya, the retention of the vital force, a commitment to higher purpose above lower appetite. You're told today that discipline is toxic, that masculinity is dangerous, that pleasure is your birthright, but you're being played. They want you docile, weak, addicted. Click, scroll, release, repeat. That's the cycle of the slave. Tesla broke that cycle. Hence, he knew what you were capable of when you stopped wasting the very elixir that created your body, that builds your bones, that electrifies your mind. When you retain, something happens. At first, the energy is chaotic, uncomfortable. You'll feel restless. Your body is screaming to release. But Tesla didn't release. He channeled. He walked 10 miles a day in solitude. He slept 2 hours a night. He entered deep states of visualization where he could build and test machines entirely in his mind before ever touching metal. This isn't sci-fi. It's spiritual physics. That kind of mental power only comes when you stop being a boy chasing dopamine and become a man channeling divine will. Let's be clear. Tesla's inventions were not just mechanical. They were magical. He built the foundation of wireless communication, alternating current and high-frequency energy. But more importantly, he tapped into the ancient masculine truth that discipline is the highest form of power. What does that mean for you? It means your edge, your genius, your God-given drive to build, conquer, create, and lead is being robbed by indulgence. The average man today doesn't even own his attention. He doesn't even control his breath. Can't go a week without lust stealing his fire. He's given up. But if you're watching this, you haven't, because something inside you still remembers. That lion inside your chest, he's growling. And Tesla's legacy is the blueprint. You don't have to invent a death ray to be a genius. You don't need a lab. What you need is sovereignty over your flesh, over your destiny. And it begins with your seed. Tesla was surrounded by beautiful women. He was praised, admired, desired, but he didn't give in because he knew the moment you give away your essence for empty pleasure, you become common. He didn't want a common life. He wanted greatness. He wanted the truth. Now, let me tell you something even darker. They want Tesla forgotten. Because if men followed his path, they become too powerful to control. A man with retention, focus, and silence is a weapon against mediocrity. This is not about hating women. This is not about being antisocial. It's about understanding that your life force is sacred, and not everyone deserves access to it. Not every woman deserves your seed. That is your crown, your fire, your inheritance. It is to be guarded, forged, and poured into your mission. Tesla was mocked for never marrying, but he said this: "I do not think you can name many great inventions that have been made by married men." He wasn't insulting marriage. He was pointing at something deeper. When you direct your energy inward and upward, when you stop chasing and start building, the universe bends toward your will. Retention clears the fog. Lust clouds the vision. Tesla didn't reject women. He mastered his relationship to feminine energy. That's the difference between slavery and power. Now ask yourself this: what have you been doing with your power? How many hours, how many days have you wasted draining yourself for pixels and fantasy? Tesla chose a different path, and now his name echoes through time, not because he was gifted, but because he had the will to focus. That's what the modern man fears most: focused masculinity. And yet, that is what you must reclaim. Don't let this message be another motivational video you forget by tomorrow. Burn this into your mind. Retention is the fuel of creation. Discipline is the throne of kings. Focus is the gateway to divinity. When you hold your seed, you are holding your potential, your ability to reshape your brain, your body, your spirit, your entire future. Tesla didn't just invent machines. He invented himself through abstinence, through silence. So can you. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are not addicted. You are asleep. And this is your wake-up call. Tesla's life wasn't perfect. He walked alone because few men dared to walk as far inward as he did. Most men never even begin the journey. You can. Your power is not in your release. It's in your restraint. And when you learn to transmute that urge into fire, into thought, into focus, you become what Tesla was: unstoppable. You were not born to be ordinary. You were not born to live on autopilot, drowning in dopamine and self-pity. You were born with fire in your spine, and every drop of your seed is the fuel that keeps it alive. Tesla wasn't just holding in lust, holding lightning, divine, focused, masculine energy. Let's stop pretending that this energy is just biological. That's the lie they feed boys to keep them slaves to their urges. But a man, a true man, knows this energy is sacred. When you retain, something ancient stirs within you. You don't just feel stronger. You feel sovereign, clear-headed, grounded, unshakable. The world starts reacting differently to you. Doors open, eyes linger. Women sense it, not with logic, but with instinct. Because you are no longer a boy begging for approval. You've become a man who reigns from within. Tesla didn't achieve genius through caffeine, nootropics, or some life hack. He achieved it through the pure focus that comes from self-possession. His energy was not scattered in addiction. It was consolidated like a beam of divine will. This is why men who practice semen retention become dangerous, because they no longer chase. They attract, not through manipulation, not through games, but through presence, through mastery, through silence. The man who has conquered himself commands the attention of others without ever asking for it. Look around. What do you see? Men shackled to screens, swiping endlessly, releasing their essence for nothing, trading vitality for emptiness. It's not a sexual addiction. It's a spiritual sickness. A man who cannot hold himself cannot hold a woman. He cannot hold a mission. He cannot hold truth. Tesla held himself with such intensity that his very thoughts changed the trajectory of human history. He was not normal, and neither are you. The average man is a puppet, pulled by craving, clicking like a lab rat. But you are here because something inside you refuses to remain ordinary. You want what most men will never taste: supreme masculine focus, and it begins with a single vow: I do not spill what makes me divine. Tesla didn't care for pleasure because he had purpose. That's what separates men of destiny from men of distraction. Pleasure without purpose is weakness. Pleasure after mastery is power. Every time you say no to lust, you are saying yes to your empire. You're training your nervous system to obey you, not your animal urges. You are becoming king of your own kingdom. You may feel the discomfort now, the pull, the restlessness. That is your body awakening. You are activating the creative force that your ancestors once revered as sacred. You're becoming a vessel for divine will. Let me ask you something. Have you ever gone 30 days without release? 60? 90? Not just abstaining, but transmuting. Pouring that energy into your voice, your craft, your muscles, your discipline. If you haven't, then you don't know who you really are yet, because the man you meet at the other side of retention is a warrior of light. He speaks differently, walks differently, leads differently. He is electric, just like Tesla. And women feel it, not because you're trying to seduce them, but because you are embodying polarity. Feminine energy is magnetized to grounded masculine power. Retention makes you a lighthouse in a storm of needy, distracted men. But here's the twist. Once you have this power, you no longer need her attention. You don't chase love. You become love. You don't beg for validation. You radiate certainty. And in that space, the right woman, the aligned woman, appears, because she's drawn to your stillness, your fire, your depth. This is why Tesla's focus was supreme, because he did not waste his energy on surface-level pleasure. He dove into the depths of thought, spirit, and invention, and stayed there, alone, disciplined, free. Now let me shatter another illusion. This isn't about demonizing sex. You don't practice retention because sex is bad. You do it because your energy is sacred, and you don't hand out your sacred power to anyone who flashes a smile. A king doesn't give his crown away just because someone asks nicely. You hold your seed because it is your crown. It sharpens your instincts, deepens your voice, enhances your eyes. It makes you noticeable, not for vanity, but for essence. Every great man in history has known this truth in his bones. Pythagoras, Da Vinci, Gandhi, Newton, Tesla, they all understood. Retention is not celibacy. It is energetic refinement. It's taking your primal force and forging it into presence, power, and purpose. That's what this channel is about. This is the brotherhood of awakening men. We don't leak, we lead. We don't chase comfort, we create impact. We don't complain about women. We attract the divine feminine by becoming the divine masculine. You feel that calling, that heat in your chest? That's your soul saying, stop wasting, start building. You don't need to become Tesla. You need to become you, the version of you who walks with unshakable energy, who speaks with resonance, who wakes up with fire and sleeps with peace. Retention is not about rules. It's about returning to yourself. You are the temple, the fire, the warrior, the priest. You are the man who remembers. This is your renaissance, the return of sacred masculinity, the end of addiction, the rise of the focused, radiant, and ruthless you. Tesla walked alone because he had to, because he was forging something the world could not yet understand. So must you. And when your time comes, when your vision has taken form, when your kingdom has risen, when your essence has been refined, not to complete you, but to witness you, the divine feminine is magnetized to a man who burns with mission, who holds his power, who does not release what makes him a creator. Let it reshape your mind, your walk, your destiny. Tesla's retention wasn't weakness, it was war, and he won. Now it's your turn. Join the movement. Subscribe.